My dear and respected members of the bar, my fellow citizens, on this solemn and intellectually significant occasion of BuddhaPurnima, my hearty greetings and best wishes to all of you. On this day, we reflect upon the enduring legacy of Gautam Buddha, not merely as a spiritual leader, but as one of the earliest exponents of ethical rationalism and social equality. My friends, this day commemorates the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and Mahaparinirvana, an extraordinary convergence symbolizing the completeness of life dedicated to the eradication of human suffering through reason, compassion, and ethical conduct. For members of the legal fraternity, this occasion offers an opportunity to revisit the foundational relationship between law, morality, and social justice. My friends, the teachings of Buddha, particularly the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, may be read as an early normative framework governing human conduct. From jurisprudential perspective, the Four Noble Truths diagnose suffering, dukkha, and identify its causes, analogous to identifying social injustice and structural inequality. The Eightfold Path prescribes a code of conduct, right view, right action, right livelihood, which can be seen as a precursor to the ethical governance and rule of law. Unlike divine commands, theories, Buddhism is rooted in reason, experience, and ethical accountability, making it compatible with modern constitutionalism. The Buddha's rejection of hierarchy, ritualism, and blind faith represents an early assertion of substantial equality and individual dignity, principles central to our constitutional order. My friends, Baba Sahib Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the father of Indian Constitution, engaged deeply with the question, can political democracy survive without social democracy? His answer was unequivocal no. Ambedkar argued that the liberty, equality, and fraternity must not remain constitutional abstractions but must become social realities. After a lifelong struggle against caste oppression and comparative study of all religions, Baba Sahib Ambedkar embraced Buddhism in 1956 at Nagpur, initiating what he termed a Dharma Kranti. This act must be understood not merely as a religious conversion, my friends, but as a constitutional and socio-political assertion of dignity. Navayana Buddhism, laws, society, and social transformation. Ambedkar's interpretation of Buddhism, Navayana, is of particular relevance to legal discourse. Key features include rejection of fatalism by discarding doctrines like karma and rebirth as a determinants of social status. Ambedkar aligned Buddhism with the constitutional principle of equality before law, that is Article 14 of our Constitution. Then primacy of social ethics. Navayana emphasizes morality rooted in human welfare rather than divine sanction, consistent with the idea of constitutional morality. Collective emancipation. Unlike purely individualistic spiritual traditions, Baba Sahib Ambedkar's Buddhism is oriented towards social justice and group rights, reasoning. And my friends, here one must note that the lifelong struggle against the caste oppression of Baba Sahib Ambedkar must be noted in our discourse. And my friends, now the collective emancipation, unlike purely individualistic spiritual traditions, Baba Sahib Ambedkar Buddhism is oriented towards social justice and group rights, resonating with Article 15, 17, and 21 of the Constitution. Fraternity as a legal value, often neglected in legal discourse, fraternity becomes central in Ambedkar's thought, ensuring that liberty and equality are meaningfully realized. Then Ambedkar's critique extends beyond Hindu social order to other religious systems as well, where caste persisted in practice. He observed that formal conversion without social transformation fails to achieve equality. Charity, though necessary, cannot substitute for the rights-based justice. This insight is critical for legal scholars. The Constitution does not merely prohibit discrimination, my friends. It mandates transformation of social structures that perpetuate inequality. The persistence of caste discrimination, even across religions, raises serious questions about the effectiveness of legal enforcement and the need for deeper societal change. Today, we are confronted with multiple challenges, increasing communal polarization, threatening secularism, continuing caste-based atrocities despite constitutional safeguards, erosion of institutional neutrality, expansion of majoritarian narratives that undermine equality. In this context, the Buddha's principles, revived through Baba Sahib Ambedkar's vision, offer a normative and ethical counterbalance. They reinforce non-violence as a constitutional ethic, rational discourse over dogma, religious dogma, and superstitious dogma, and human dignity as the ultimate legal value. My friends, Ambedkar's 22 vows, you remember, administered at the time of conversion, may be viewed as a declaration of ethical citizenship. They reject caste hierarchy and superstitions, affirm equality and rationality, and denounce religious dogma, establish a new identity grounded in dignity. My friends, from a legal standpoint, these vows symbolize the transition from subjecthood under oppressive structures to citizenship under constitutional morality. Buddha and constitutional morality. My friends, the Supreme Court of India has repeatedly invoked the concept of constitutional morality, a term deeply influenced by Baba Sahib Ambedkar. As at its core, constitutional morality requires adherence to the constitutional values over social prejudices, protection of minority rights, promotion of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. The Buddha's teachings provide the ethical foundation for such morality. Compassion ensures justice is humane. Wisdom ensures law is rational. Equality ensures law is fair. So, my friends, as a members of the legal fraternity and as an enlightened citizens, our duty extends beyond interpretation of statutes. We are custodians of the constitutional values. On this BuddhaPurnima day, our message is very clear. Law without morality becomes an instrument of oppression. Morality without action remains ineffective. Justice without equality is incomplete. The combined legacy of Gautam Buddha and Baba Sahib Dr. B.R. Ambedkar calls upon us to bridge the gap between law and social reality. Let us strive to ensure that constitutional promises are translated into lived realities. Equality is not merely formal but substantive. Fraternity becomes the foundation of our legal system. This would be the true realization of Dhamma in constitutional governance. Thank you. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat.